Check 1, 2. Checkity, checkity, check, check. And we are live. La 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 la. Check 1, 2.
I know I'm not the one you would've thought your love would look like. You're sifting through the pages of a book he left behind.
Chill rock.
Can't find the reason when all of the phrases realize.
Not in a rush to get anywhere with this music.
I'd say to you softly, you're terrified.
All right. Hand habits. Live at KEXP, hand habits. I like it. A little bit of round of applause. Good morning, everybody. Mark Sconti reporting on corruption in America. Is it corruption or is it business as usual? Business as usual. The great Devon Archer. This is big news. All right. Remember a long time ago, Donald Trump. You remember Donald Trump was the president once upon a time, and Donald Trump had a phone conversation with remember when Donald Trump had a conversation with the then president of Ukraine, Zelensky, and for that conversation where Trump suggested that the Bidens were involved in deep corruption in Ukraine, taking money, peddling influence. Remember when Trump said that? And Trump, for that, Nancy Pelosi, all the corrupt Democratic politicians and some Republican corrupt politicians lined up to say, how dare you accuse us of corruption? And they impeached Trump for that. Right? Well, it turns out the testimony yesterday by Devon Archer, who was Hunter Biden's best friend. Now, you don't have to dig too deep to figure out what's going on. Devon Archer was Hunter Biden's lap boy. They were buddies, right? And Devon and Hunter were roaming around the country, rounding up people who needed influence from the United States. And what did they get for it? They got money, millions of dollars, right? We're funneling into Hunter Biden, Devon Archer, and the big guy, Joe Biden. Now, if this doesn't bother you, then there's nothing to see here. But what you can see if you take a look is you see the way bribery and quid pro quo and influence peddling and arguably treason operates at the highest levels of government. Now, here's what Devon Archer fails to realize. See, Devon Archer is like that guy, Bankman Freud. You remember the Bankman Freud guy who thought he was going to get involved in deep corruption with big politicians? And then when everything went bust, he was going to blow the whistle on them. And what happened to him? Right? He learned the hard way, right? He learned the same lesson Devon Archer is learning right now. Is that, no. See, you don't understand, Mr. Archer. I am royalty. I am Joe Biden's son. I am the president with all the influence and all the power. And when we get caught, if and when we get caught stealing money in Ukraine and China, you take the fall, right? You, my friend, are the fall guy. And what happened to Devon Archer? He's facing a year in prison for taking 60 grand from an Indian tribe, who Hunter Biden, by the way, was in that deal as well. But Hunter Biden, of course, because of who Hunter Biden is. All right, so this is politics in America. Right now, and Joe Biden is on the record, inescapable. I have no idea. I've never dealt with Hunter Biden's business deals. I don't know who they are or what they are. But it's simply not true. Archer testified in front of the House yesterday and told the House that he witnessed Hunter Biden and Joe Biden being on speakerphone over 20 times. And the White House records are clear as well. All those business partners at some point gotta sit down with Joe Biden. Why? Why did he do it? Because it's Hunter Biden's friend? Do you really believe that? Oh, here's my friends, Daddy. Say hello to them. No, you're off peddling influence in foreign countries, and here they are ready to get the favor, right? Is it a direct favor? You could say, well, where's the evidence of the direct favor? Well, there is evidence of direct favor. Money. You paid Biden. You gave him a lot of money. And what kind of influence did they get? A lot of times it's pretty clear. They got sweet deals. That's how influence peddling works. And Joe Biden is caught deep in it, lying to the American people, saying, I have no idea what Joe Biden is doing. The Devon Archer testimony pretty much confirms it. It confirms a lot of things. It confirms how political power is peddled. And it also demonstrates just how fucked up it is when it goes bust, right? And the dirty Democrats that were your friend are now accusing you of the very things that they did to make you go away. You're the fall guy, Devon Archer. Devon Archer is the fall guy. Trump is the fall guy for the dirty Democrats and the deep state. That's the reality of it. So Trump, love him or hate him, Trump looks like a rock star here because Trump is, if you look at the story, Trump is 100% vindicated. Trump was pointing it out. And for that, they threw him under the bus, impeached him, smeared him, and now they're trying to throw him in prison for airing it out. All right. And that's just the reality. I mean, Trump is a brave dude. He's fighting for his life. Really, imagine that. The ex-president of the United States is not just fighting for his reputation, but is fighting for his life. So anyway, thank you. Thank you all for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting on the fascinating breaking news at the highest levels of politics. Weevil Girls in the house, Chris Milk in the house, Zoot Suit Cooter, Champs, Dave Brown, Yogi Fish. And we're gonna look at all the spin. We'll look at Fox. Fox did a great job at explaining what I'm trying to explain right now, with more detail and more depth and a whole staff behind them to do it. We'll look at that. We'll see also how CBS spins it in the other way. I don't know. No, did Joe Biden actually know anything about Hunter Biden and his corrupt business dealings? I don't think so. I think that all politicians make their, so we'll look at the leftist spin, how they're trying to spin their way out of it. Right? Left and right. That's what we got here. We got people who either see it or adamantly lobby against what we're seeing. Right? Isn't that ironic? We're seeing the details, the facts right in front of us. But there are people out there spinning it to say, no. That you're still talking about the Hunter Biden laptop garbage. I said, it's fucking garbage. I watched Rachel Maddow said it was garbage. I watched the Young Turks, man. They say it's bullshit. Trump's a fucking animal. He needs to go to prison. But the reality is that we have corruption and deep corruption in our banana republic. So that will also break to the markets. My name is Marcus Conte. Here's my thumbnail today. That's Devon Archer. And there's Joe and his darling son. I love you. I love you. I love you, Hunter. I know you like your hooker and your crack pipe, but go get the money. Go get the money. Hunter Biden made Joe Biden richer, 10 million, 20 million, 50 million richer. He loves his son. He loves his little boy. I have a website every morning at 9 a.m. I talk about these fascinating educational, philosophical, ideas of our time. That's all this is. It's educational, philosophical. There's nothing scientific or mathematical about any of this. It's just hyperbole. It's just hypothetical, theoretical. So every morning at 9 a.m. we're live at right here on YouTube. You can donate through Zelle if you'd like to give something to this program, especially if you're one of the meme stock players and you made a fucking truckload of money on Tilray and Rivian. Come on, man, make a donation already. Stop being fucking selfish. PayPal and Patreon are ways that you can do that, also through Zelle. So let's start here. A Long Island swimmer swept out to sea, threads water for 5 hours. What the hell? This guy fell off a fucking boat, and he's swimming around in the ocean with no, he didn't fall off a boat. He was swimming in the Long Island fucking ocean and got riptided out like 2 miles. He ended up 2 miles out. And he survived. He was just floating out there in the high sea for 5 hours. You talk about a will to live. When they got him, he couldn't walk because he was exhausted. But imagine threading water for 5 hours. I bet he knows what he's doing. I bet he knew how to float on his back and such. But fascinating man, right? His name is Ho. What's his name? Dan Ho, 63-year-old man. 5 fucking hours. Look, he wouldn't have been in the water if he didn't know how to swim. What's he doing in the water at 5 a.m.? He's out there swimming. He's an endurance swimmer. And he, as most adventurists will do, is step over the line sometimes and test yourself. And this guy got sucked out there, but congratulations, 5 hours at the high seas. And they dragged him in. He's in good shape. He's just a little tired, man. They fucking treated him for hypothermia because he was probably frozen being out there for 5 hours. And but he made it. He made it. There's another one I want to show you about the 2 tiers of government. Look at this lady. Here's a lady. Now, I'm not defending her, but I'm just pointing it out. The lady in the picture is a grandma-age fentanyl trafficker. What she was doing is she was buying fentanyl and other controlled substances from abroad, and she was collecting them in her mailbox, right? She had these deals, and then she would turn around and sell it, right? She was a drug dealer, right? But the point is that it's not good to do what she's doing, obviously, because the substances get into people's, fucking the back door in people's homes and people's lives. Suddenly they're in the schoolyard and the kid is sniffing fentanyl and he doesn't know what it is. All right. But is that any different? Right? She's facing 20 years in prison. Is that any different than the millions and millions and billions with a B that the Sackler family made for Purdue Pharma and served no jail time? All they had to do was give back some of the money. They made $10 million. They gave back $7 million. They still ended the day with billions with a B dollars, right? The Sacklers, remember? So here's Grandma, and here's the Sacklers, right? Described as the worst drug dealers in history, the Sacklers. Remember these people? Purdue Pharma, Sackler family, America, who founded the pharmaceutical company Purdue Pharma and Mundy Pharma. And their famous drug was Oxycontin. Right? They pushed OxyContin on more fucking Americans than anybody alive, and because because of course, no, this is investment banking, and the investment banks have taken money out, and this is big pharma, and this is how it works. See, big pharma can kill you outright with their substances. And hide behind armies of doctors to say it's okay and it's safe if used correctly. But if grandma takes a couple of bags of fentanyl from China, she gets thrown under the bus. Now, ask yourself, which one is worse? Who killed more people, Purdue Pharma or grandma? Obviously, Purdue Pharma. Millions of, they say, who knows how many people died in the alleged opioid crises, but a lot of them did, and a lot of them got very, very sick and/or are still sick. So anyway, that's fascinating, man. Fascinating story. And let's have a word from our black sponsor. We have a our black sponsor today is, I don't know what his name is, National Identity Awareness Guy. Tell us what's going on in the world.
I really had enough of this whole life. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say it.
Okay.
Fuck every white man, woman, and child alive on this planet. All of you motherfuckers need to die. All of you do. We need to go for a global, recessive genetic purge by any means necessary. Every last one of you white man, woman, and child on this planet need to die.
Okay.
I really had enough of this whole life. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Fuck every white man, woman, and child alive on this planet. All of you motherfuckers need to die. All of you do. We need to go for a global, recessive genetic purge by any means necessary. Every last one of you white man, woman, and child on this planet need to die.
That's not racism, though. No, that's not. He's not a racist. He's not blaming white people for his malfunction. He's just he's right. Well, white people are his are at the root of his problem. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. I think I understand. I think I understand the racial divide a little better now that I've heard from our sponsor. So let's talk about this, right? So my guy. That's Hunter Biden's partner, Devon Archer, says Joe Biden was on call with foreign patrons to sell the brand, the Biden brand. We're a brand. It's like Trump's brand. What does Trump sell? Well, Trump sells casinos. He sells his name to casinos. The Bidens sell their name to foreign entities to get American influence in politics. That's what the brand was. What else does Joe Biden have? Joe Biden doesn't have anything. Joe Biden has his political elected position. That's the brand. See? If you want something from us, America, then I'm your guy. You come to me, and I get you the deal that you're looking for. Right? I get you that cush deal, whether it's military or whether it's sanction free or going after someone and getting them thrown in jail, dropping a bomb on someone's head. Hey, that's me. That's my brand. I'm Joe Biden. I'm the big guy. Right? So you can't make this shit up. Washington, former Hunter Biden business partner Devon Archer told Congress Monday that Hunter referred to the president as my guy, while connecting his dad to foreign associates nearly 24 times as Republicans move closer to starting an impeachment inquiry. Is this an impeachable offense? Did Joe Biden fucking was running a racketeering? Look, when it's the Italians, it's the mafia. When it's blacks, it's a gang. When it's Joe Biden doing it, that's business as usual, right? That's crazy, right? This is what they're doing. They're peddling influence. Archer said during a 4 hours House Oversight Committee interview that Ukrainian natural gas company Burisma Holdings paid Hunter up to $1 million per year to serve on his board because his family's brand. You're paying. So you say, well, why would Hunter Biden, what did they get out of it? That's the big argument. What did Joe Biden get out of it? They didn't get anything out of it. How do you know that the other side got a favor? Right? Well, we know that you got $1 million. We know that you got a lot of money from it. And then we look a little further and we see what kind of buffers were offered to these other people that gave you the $1 million. And when you analyze it, you notice that most of the people that gave money got some sort of benefit from it, right? If you're looking for direct, give me the money and I'll give you that out of Joe Biden's mouth, you're not going to get it. He's using Joe Biden. He's using Hunter Biden, who I believe Joe Biden will even throw his own son under the bus at some point. At some point, if Hunter Biden's taking too much shit, Joe Biden will turn around and throw his own son under the bus. Look how fucking mean Joe Biden's dog is. Every dog that Joe Biden has bites somebody, right? Joe Biden's a mean motherfucker. And he'll throw his son under the bus, right? And say, I don't know what the fuck this kid's doing, man. He's a crackhead and a whore, and a whore banger. I don't know. I bet Joe Biden throws Hunter under the bus at some point. He's still crying about Bo. Bo, I love you, Bo. So let's listen to Joe Biden. Did Joe Biden ever say he had no information about Hunter Biden's shenanigans, going over there, sending his boy over there to rack up some money for the family? Did he ever say it? Yes, he did.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses.
Liar.
Period.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
I've never spoken to my son about overseas business dealings. Right out of Joe Biden's mouth on the fucking campaign trail 2020. Liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business dealings?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
There he goes. So there he is. Joe Biden is clearly fucking lying. What's going on with the market? Come on, man, go up. So markets are we open yet? One more minute and we're open. It looks like we're going to open slightly down. Okay, a little down. NASDAQ futures are down 65 at the moment, and Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 66. S&P 500 up 16. God, I gave you guys, on the meme stocks, Tilray at $1.66. We're up to $2.50 already. Keep it going. Rivian, I gave it to you at 14. Where are we now? 27.22. All right. You watch the program and you can make some money. I gave you Q's down at $16. It's at 44.81 going to fucking 60 or 70. Eventually, this will be, by the end of the year, TQQ will be 60. 65 maybe even higher. I don't know. That's the stock that follows Q. So the big news this week is going to be Apple, who reports on Thursday, and Amazon, two huge companies, both reporting Thursday their earnings. And we've already heard from Meta. That was outstandingly up. We heard from Microsoft. That was, neutral. NVIDIA still racing up. $4. We're getting it down open right now. Tesla's down $1. I think it's going to turn green in a little bit. You just got to give it a second. But anyway, so we have a hold on a second. Flash. We have a red open. Yeah. Now, see, the Dow just went green. S&P 500 is down 14. I call that flat. NASDAQ down a half percentage point, down 74. So let that work. Also, there's a jobs report coming in this week. So let's get back to the Biden corruption. I think Fox did a great job at explaining the story. So listen to the story. I just told you the story. Now let's let Fox tell us the story, and we'll let CBS tell us the story, and then you decide what the hell is going on.
Alert, Devon Archer, the man who Hunter Biden once called a Biden, just flipped on the first family.
He sure
And
did.
it's bad. Archer, who's been in Ukrainian board meetings, Chinese dinners, to the Biden family beach house, is saying that Joe Biden was on the phone with Hunter and his foreign business partners at least 20 times. 20 times. Archer said.
So that, again, just to reiterate, this is not hyperbole anymore. This is not speculation. Will Devon Archer make it to Congress to tell the truth? They tried to throw him in jail the night before, and it didn't. It failed. They tried to get the judge in his case to throw him in jail, and it didn't work. So Devon Archer made it to Congress to testify. Barely. This is now fact. Right? It's not theory anymore. He's already testified in front of Congress under the penalties of perjury. Right? So on the record, this is all on the record now.
Says it was to sell the Biden brand. And Hunter described the Biden brand as gold. Here's how it worked. President Barack Obama would assign Joe Biden a country to handle. And when Biden was assigned to a country, a dirty company with a lot of problems in that country would hire Hunter Biden because they needed something from Joe Biden. Hunter would have dinner with some crooked foreign kleptocrat, and in the middle of dinner, he'd say, hey, let's call my pop. He'd get his dad on the phone, put it on speaker, and Joe Biden would say hello to Hunter's business partners. And that was what the business partners were paying for, that phone call. They were paying Hunter because he could get Joe Biden on the phone like that. And everywhere Joe went, Hunter got paid. And Joe delivered. Devon Archer told House investors.
Hunter got paid and Joe delivered. That's how it works. That's the mob. The Godfather doesn't walk out into the street and make the deal. The underboss does it. The underboss goes out, makes the deal, and then the family offers the whatever you're paying for. You need influence. Okay, we know how to do that. We're the United States government. You're having some problems over there? All right, those problems will go away. All right, that's what it is. That's how it works. Hunter Biden is the underboss. Joe Biden is the boss, period.
Investigators today that the corrupt Ukrainian gas company, Burisma, only hired Hunter so his father, Joe, could get the prosecutor investigating them fired.
Yeah, he did it.
Devon Archer testified Hunter was with the crooked Ukrainian CEO when he called D.C. to demand Joe Biden fire the prosecutor. 3 days later, Joe Biden flew to Ukraine and got the prosecutor fired and then bragged about it.
Remember that this is what Trump was investigating. Trump suggested to Zelensky that all of this influence peddling by the United States and at the time the dirty Democrats under Obama were doing this. They had their tentacles out, and it happened before that too. Bush. It happened with certainly Obama. Peddling influence. That's how they do it. That's how they all get rich. Or I wanted to say the Clintons. Bill Clinton was the fucking master at this. Bill Clinton was the master. And if Hillary would have gotten elected, he would have outmastered himself. But Hillary didn't. The American people weren't going to have it. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry. I'm cutting a very good interview. I want to let Fox tell the story.
This is what Democrats impeached Trump for probing.
Right.
Devon Archer also testified that Hunter pulled the same move with other fat cat foreign execs. Archer says Hunter put Joe Biden on the phone with his Chinese partner, Jonathan Lee. And remember, Joe Biden flew Hunter to China on Air Force Two, where Hunter met Jonathan Lee. Hunter introduced Joe and Jonathan Lee in Beijing. They shook hands. It was a $20 million handshake. The Bidens made $20 million from that Chinese deal. After Hunter was given an equity.
How much? $20 million from one deal. All right, $20 million landed in the pocket of the Bidens. Is that why you got elected? Is that why the American people wanted you to be the vice president? So you could put $20 million in your pocket? Or you can work in their best interests and put the money in their pocket. Right? There's people right now in America struggling on $283 worth of food stamps and no rent. Right? And they're worried about eating, and you made $20 million. Is that why the American people sent you to Washington to represent them, or something else?
Equity stake in the Chinese investment firm. The Obama-Biden administration greased approvals for Jonathan Lee to take over American car manufacturers. Joe Biden, who...
So there's the benefit, right? He's in this one case. They greased the fucking road for this Chinese guy to get a fucking auto deal. Right? Listen to him say it again. That was the deal.
$1 million from that Chinese deal. After Hunter was given an equity stake in the Chinese investment firm.
So Hunter had an equity stake, meaning that he had stock or some kind of equity.
The Obama-Biden administration greased approvals for Jonathan Lee to take over American car manufacturers.
Right? So they didn't even know. So Biden is saying, I don't even know who this I've never dealt with any of Hunter Biden's people. And meanwhile, he's greasing the way for the guy to get these lucrative deals, right? You give me $20 million and you'll get the deal that'll make you tens of millions. Right? That's how it works.
Joe Biden, who claims he didn't talk to his son about his business, even wrote a letter of recommendation to Brown University on behalf of Jonathan Lee's daughter.
Is it believable that Joe Biden didn't know nothing? Ask yourself the question. Did Joe Biden know anything about what Hunter Biden was doing in these places? Of course he did. It's my son, right? My son is my underboss. My son, I employ my son in the brand. And what is our brand? Influence peddling. Go out into the world, find people that need American favors, charge them millions of dollars and receive it in equity or some other way, bring the money back into the family brand, and you're a rock star. That's what they're selling. That's what they tried to accuse Trump of doing, but that's what they're doing themselves. That's what Trump was blowing the whistle on. Then they accused Trump of doing the same or worse.
Jonathan Lee is a Communist Party power broker who are...
Yogi Fish asks, Obama had to have known too. Impossible that Obama didn't know. Barack Obama, is a very smart man. He's very, very intelligent. Of course he knew, right? But again, if Joe Biden would have gotten caught, remember, Joe Biden is Barack Obama's underboss. See, Joe Biden had a boss too, and his boss is Obama, right? So if Biden would have gotten caught doing all this, which he didn't at the time, he's getting caught now. But Barack Obama would have thrown him under the bus, certainly, right? Because that's what they do, right? That's what they do. So you don't understand when we're doing these deals. I'm in power, and you're the fall guy. So you better not fuck it up.
Our vice president went to bat for, helping his daughter cut the line in the admissions offices at Ivy League schools. Why? Because his family was getting paid. Devon Archer also testified that Vice President Joe Biden personally met with a Russian billionaire, Elena Batrina, back in 2014 while VP at Cafe Milano in Georgetown. Joe Biden had dinner with her, and a month later, the Russian billionaire wired Hunter Biden $3.5 million.
All right, a business deal, a little talk, and boom, he's got all that. He's got all the money. Where's Joe Biden saying it again? Let's listen. Joe Biden said, "I never had any dealings in the Ukraine."
So Hunter was in talks with Devon Archer, co-founder of Rosemont Seneca Partners, to strike up a potential lucrative business opportunity with Sean Conlon. An email to Hunter now revealing that Conlon was trying to get Joe Biden to attend that meeting, too. Hunter initially said, no, those meetings not possible. But then we saw the visitor logs, and they revealed that 3 associates did meet at the White House. So
all of Hunter Biden's business dealings that he took money from all got sit-downs at the White House with the then Vice President of the United States. and you're going to say, I have no idea what Hunter Biden's business dealings were. I don't know. I have no information about that. I don't know. That's what Joe Biden said. Lying to the American people, right? Hiding the fact that he was taking money, that he knew all about it. Let's listen to Joe Biden say it again.
Even though now President Joe Biden swore he never knew about his son's business dealings. Watch.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses.
Amazing, right? Is he believable? No. Based on the evidence, is it believable? No, he's lying.
Period.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
He does that little blink before he lies. He's got a little. Joe Biden's got a little blink before he lies.
Do you stand by your statement
Watch,
that you
watch,
did
watch.
not discuss
Watch,
any
watch.
of
You see
your
the blink?
son's overseas business
Yes,
dealings
I
with him?
stand by that statement.
Just to reiterate, keep going, Jesse Waters.
Democrats say Joe Biden had no idea who he was talking to.
It was clear that it was part of the.
So if you think that the Democrats are just going to accept the fact that they're caught with their hand in the kitty, and their guy is deeply corrupt, and they were responsible for dragging the entire country into a fake impeachment processes to smear Trump and throw Trump in jail because Trump was pointing it out. Right? Bernie Sanders was smart enough to get out of the way. Bernie Sanders, call him a fucking turncoat, call him a coward, call him a fucking money-grabbing Jew. Call Bernie Sanders whatever you want. Bernie Sanders got the fuck out of the way when the criminals, basically threatened him. But
daily conversations that
Trump didn't do that. Trump tried to expose it, and he took the hit for it.
Hunter Biden had with his father. And it was, and sounded like most of the time, now President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello, and he would, talk about the way he described it several times.
Look, first of all, Mr. Democrat, it's common knowledge that the Godfather never, ever, ever admits to any wrongdoing. You're dealing with the underboss, right? And the sit down is to confirm everything that the underboss is offering, right? We're going to offer you influence. You're giving us the money. Now we're having our sit down, right? We don't need to talk about anything else. There's nothing to talk about. You already paid, right? You got your influence. You've paid us, and now you didn't get your influence yet, but you're about to get it. You paid your money. You made your connection, you paid your money, and now you wait for your influence, right? And the dinner is just to confirm the direction. That's all it is. That's all they're doing, right? And the Democrats know that. But there's no direct evidence. Of course there is. There's millions of dollars that have changed hands. Millions of dollars ended up in Biden's pocket, and many, many, many favors went the other way to the people who paid it. That is the fact.
Asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was, how what's going on your end.
The Democrats went from the laptops, Russia misinformation to Biden was having dinner with Hunter's business partners, but all they talked about was the weather. Now,
they talked about the weather. Right? They talked about the weather. That's what Hunter Biden, and it is possible that that's all they talked about. You don't really talk about. You don't need to look, first of all, you don't need to tell Joe Biden what it is you need as a favor. Hunter Biden is going to do that for you. Hunter Biden's going to go down to Camp David and say, Dad, these guys, they need this fucking piece of paper signed, man. I don't know what it is, but they're very, very headstrong on getting this fucking gas deal in Ukraine, and there's some motherfucker standing in the way, and it won't let it happen, and we got to get that guy fired, and Trump keeps blabbing his mouth trying to expose everything. We got to get rid of that motherfucker too. That's the conversation that remember, Joe Biden's a mean motherfucker. Joe Biden is a mean guy. All his dogs are mean, right? Joe Biden's dogs bite people. That tells you he's a mean person.
when I eat dinner, it's usually at least an hour. I'm there for 3 courses. You can talk weather for maybe 5 minutes tops. But Biden's talking to a Russian billionaire about the weather the whole dinner? What's it like in Moscow? It's cold. Biden's had meetings at Cafe...
Jesse Waters, it's not that hard to believe that they had that kind of, that was the conversation with Joe Biden. Joe Biden, if he's not as stupid as people think, he's not going to openly influence peddle at a social gathering. That's not how it works. The social gathering is just to confirm that the deal is in place. That's all it is. Yeah, we're good. Everything's good. Don't worry about a damn thing.
Milano with the Russians, the Ukrainians, the Mexicans, Kazakhstanis, even the Greeks, all Hunter's business partners. You're saying Joe Biden talked about the weather the whole time?
Possibly.
And had no idea who he was having dinner with? Even if Hunter puts his business partners on speakerphone with his dad and they don't talk business at all, you're saying the next day when Hunter talks to Joe, and they say they talk every day, Joe doesn't say, hey, Hunter, what are you doing in Dubai, and who are those Ukrainians you put me on the phone with last night?
Of course he knows who they are. They may not have talked about anything at the table, but you're telling me it's impossible that Joe Biden would sit down at the table with these guys and not know that they were Hunter Biden's business, that they were the fucking guys giving the millions of dollars. They're there, they're at the table, they're giving millions of dollars, they want their favor. Joe Biden's not going to offer that favor over the table. He's just going to, as I say, confirm it with the by his presence.
Come on. The Biden family was selling access to Joe. The phone call, even if it was weather-related, was the access. And Biden always delivered on the back end. The Chinese and the Ukrainians got what they wanted out of Biden.
Yep.
Even the Russian lady who bribed Hunter $3.5 million, Joe Biden left her off the sanctions list. The one Russian billionaire not on the sanctions list happens to be the same one who paid the Biden family millions of bucks.
So you pay the Bidens millions of bucks, and you're not on the Russian oligarch sanction list. You skip the list. So you can keep doing business in Russia. The money keeps flowing to the Bidens. You're not on the sanction list. You somehow got immunity. How did that happen? Well, we paid fucking Hunter Biden $3 million to give half of it to his father, and that's how we evaded the sanctions list. You see, something so simple, for a billionaire to be on a sanctions list means that instead of making $10 billion, they're only going to make $500 million. But if they're not on the sanction list, instead of making $10 billion, they're going to make $50 billion. See, the 2 or 3 million going into, or 20 million going into Joe Biden's pocket is nothing. It's peanuts to these people, right? Oh, you could get Joe Biden on the phone? Great. We'll give you how many million you want? 20 million? Pay him. Pay him 20 million, get Joe Biden on the phone, make sure that we'll have the sit down, then we'll get our favor, and it's a done deal. It's influence peddling. It's fucking influence peddling. That's what it is.
But the Democrats say, what was Joe Biden supposed to be, rude and not say hello to Hunter's corrupt foreign business partners?
Yes.
Clearly he talked, whether it's about the weather or whatever, but he said specifically that he's never talked to them. Doesn't this contradict?
He never said that he has never spoken to anyone. He said that he had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings.
He had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings. That's what he said. I had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings. Well, yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's clear how the chain of command was working. It's very clever. It's very sinister. But it's also very well protected at the top end of politics. We could always turn around and say, oh, it's something else. You can't connect those dots. Impossible.
He says hello to someone that he sees his son with. Is he supposed to say, hi, son? Oh, no, I'm not going to say hello to the other people at the table?
No, you wouldn't be at the table, jerk off. You wouldn't be at the table, jerk off, if you weren't peddling.
The people on the phone. It's kind of a preposterous premise to think that a father should not say hello to people that the son are at dinner with. They're
taking the father and the son. Oh, it's my son. I got to answer the phone whenever he calls. No, your son is out there. All right, he's out there lobbying for you. A preposterous Democrat.
When was the last time you did a proper cleanse of your intestines? Maybe you do them often. Maybe
not
you've
recently.
never done one. But
Not recently.
So the new defense is Biden's missed manners. Snubbing his son's sniveling and conniving foreign business partners would be the wrong thing to do.
Right.
Now, we know that Hunter Biden brought his sleazy business partners to the Obama White House over 100 times. So Joe Biden...
100 times. 100 times. Corrupt business people that were trying to buy some Biden brand. 100 times. And Biden says, I never dealt with any of these people. I don't know what you're talking about.
never asked Hunter, who are all...
He knows the favor that he has to deliver, and he goes and he makes it happen. And that's just the way it is. There's nothing more to be said.
I mean, at this point, Joe knows more about the weather than Al Roker. So, why did Devon Archer flip? Well, because he's going to prison. And he thought, you know, being Hunter's best buddy would keep him out of prison. Devon Archer can't be too happy with Hunter Biden right now. Here's a text he sent to Hunter. Why did your dad's administration appointees arrest me and try to put me in jail? Just curious, some of our partners asking out here.
Amazing. Look at that. Devon Archer texts to Hunter Biden. Now, Hunter Biden didn't answer it, but he says, why did your dad's administration appointees arrest me? Why? Right? Just curious. Some of our partners are asking out here. Wow. Well, you better shut your hole because it's going to get worse, right? It's going to get worse for you.
And then this.
Right? So there it is. There's the evidence of Joe Biden literally, right? As I said before, Devon Archer is the fall guy. He takes the fall, right? Devon, if you're watching, don't you know who they are? You take the fall. You don't turn around and get to blow any whistle on us. No. We throw you under the bus and put you in prison for the rest of your life if you open your fucking mouth, right? So shut your mouth and maybe you won't go to prison, right? Forget about all the millions that you were making because that's now off the table. The only thing you're looking at is possible prison. So shut your hole.
This one. Why would they try and ruin my family and destroy my kids and no one...
So let's look at the CBS spin. Let's look at this.
One of Hunter Biden's former business partners testified.
This is how you try to unwind everything that we know now. If you think that, oh, that's just the Democrats, now they're caught and they're going to roll over. No, they're going to spin every last word of it, starting with CBS. Watch.
Before the House Oversight Committee Monday in a closed-door meeting. Devon Archer's appearance is part of the Republican-led investigation into the Biden family's business dealings. Sources have confirmed to CBS News that Archer testified that Hunter Biden put his father, who was vice president at the time, on speakerphone multiple times during business meetings. CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge joined.
All right, right there. He testified that they were business dealings. They were business dealings. And Hunter Biden called his father in the middle of a business dealing, right, to talk to his father, right? And Joe Biden says, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about it. Treason.
Joins me now from Washington. So, Catherine, what else do we know? What else are you hearing about what Devon Archer said during his testimony?
Well, John, both Republicans and Democrats told reporters after this transcribed interview of Devon Archer that he described Hunter Biden selling the Biden family brand.
Boom.
Republicans said this was a reference to Joe Biden and influence. Democrats said it was only the illusion of access to the father. And
they're calling it the illusion of access. That's a fucking great phrase. No. You're under a illusion that this is the illusion of influence. It's not real influence. You don't. You see, when you give me $20 million and then you get invited into the White House, and then shortly after that conversation, you get your favor, this amazing favor, like no sanctions if you're a Russian oligarch. That's the illusion. That's an illusion of influence. It's not real influence. That's what the Democrats are saying. Oh, you're delusional. Maybe you should take some Oxycontin to help your delusion.
And to influence. And of course, we're at a disadvantage.
Or maybe you're unvaccinated and you need more vaccine. Or maybe you're a racist and a misogynist and you just fucking hate. Maybe you're a fascist and you hate America. Some other thing.
Because we don't have independent access yet to that transcript, which should help clarify some of these questions.
Right. We're having to take their word for it, and everybody here has an interest. But
correct.
Let's stick with for a moment on that idea of selling the brand, because, as we both know, in Washington, some people have made whole careers after based on just a single picture on their wall of themselves with a powerful person. So give us a sense of
those are when you're selling your brand in America, and it's different. You're talking about corrupt foreign fucking entities, right? You're not supposed to be doing that, doing foreign dealings with and selling the American fucking American influence abroad, right? It's different. It would be a different story if these companies were within America and you were, it was like a campaign contribution and someone delivers on their campaign promise. Like, we're going to clean up the water in Flint, Michigan. And thank you for your campaign contributions. And I'm glad we got it done. Right? No, the influence we're peddling here has nothing to do with any of that benefits the American people. It only benefits Biden. The money, that's the pay. Right? They got paid in their pocket for the outcome. Right? Give us the money. Give my underboss the money. And then you'll get your favor.
The continuum that might be discussed here. Is there any evidence that the current president, the former vice president, was selling anything more than just kind of his stature in the room? But also, is there new evidence that he was more around phone calls than he's previously said he was?
Well, I think the simple explanation is that the testimony today, and I say this because both Republicans and Democrats talked about these speaker phone calls Hunter Biden would have when he was sometimes at these sort of working business dinners and his father would be on the line. It sort of undercuts the president's earlier claims that he had sort of no visibility.
Undercuts? It's just it undercuts a little bit. It's he said I had no business dealings.
Talk at all about to his son about business. The other side of the coin is that we heard from Democrats that Devon Archer never said that he saw his business partner talk with then Vice President Biden specifically about business deals or influencing policy, especially when it came to Ukraine. They were sitting on the board of that energy firm that was under investigation at that time in that country.
And finally,
there's never a mention that all of these corrupt companies abroad gave the Bidens millions of dollars. Right? Gave the Bidens millions of dollars.
And what, if anything, does this mean with respect to the plea deal that Hunter Biden is in the middle of trying to get back on the right side of?
The plea deal was to get immunity to all of this. You know that, right? Hunter Biden is facing charges of tax evasion and gun possession, right? And as part of the plea deal, he wanted immunity, blanket immunity to all of this other stuff. And the judge in that case said, no, there's no precedence for anything so ridiculous like that. Right? And CBS is saying, well, what about the plea deal? What about the plea deal they're these people, CBS is working. They're either so stupid and they don't see it, which I don't think it is the case, or they're just clearly in the pocket of the Democratic Party at this time.
Well, I think that's an excellent question, John, that really takes us to the next step. What we apparently heard from Devon Archer, again, we've got to look at that transcript independently, is it talks about Hunter Biden's work acting on behalf of foreign business entities. For example, this Ukraine energy firm, Burisma. And one of the lingering questions in that federal investigation is whether his actions qualified him to register under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. So in other words, being a lobbyist here in the United States for foreign interests. And that
right, which he did not do. He did not do. He was not registered to be doing what he was doing, because if he was registered to be doing what he was doing, he would have been under the watchful eye of regulators. But because his daddy is the vice president, he went around that shit. So he was acting as a foreign fucking lobbyist. That's the proper definition. He's foreign lobbying. He's lobbying for foreign money to get to sell influence.
That was one of the issues that scuppered the deal last week. There was not agreement, as you recall, between the prosecutors and the defense over whether the plea might shield him from any future charges, and one of them was what they call a FARA violation.
Catherine Herridge.
All right, so you got nothing from CBS other than trying to cover it up. All right, so let's take a last flash of the market, and I don't know, man. I think it's pretty clear what was going on in that scenario. It looks like Joe Biden, Hunter Biden got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Are the American people going to stand up? Are they going to understand what's really happening here? Or are they just going to say, oh, it's better than Trump, man. I fucking hate that guy, man. Oh, he's a racist. He's a misogynist. Are the House Republicans going to really move to impeach Joe Biden over this? Probably not. That depends on how well. Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Are they going to? They should. Remember, when the Democrats, I'll give you for instance, when the Democrats tried to impeach and successfully impeached Trump, when did they do it? They did it right in the middle of a campaign, right? They were running. Bernie Sanders was running away with the fucking bull. He was out in every day. He was out in the country, ranting about how corrupt big business was. Vote for me, and we'll take care of it. We'll address it, right? And the impeachment of Trump required that Bernie Sanders sit on his ass in Senate and listen to hours and hours and hours of garbage about Trump and this horrible conversation he had with the Ukraine president and why he should be impeached. And Bernie Sanders voted to have Trump impeached. Right? So it slowed. The point I'm trying to make is that if the Republicans try to impeach Biden, it could slow down Biden leading into an election, certainly. Right? Well, maybe it won't. I don't know. Maybe it'll accelerate him because nobody else is talking about Biden. But that's the point. I don't want to unwind it. I think it's quite clear. We live in a kind of a banana republic. There are clearly two tiers of justice. The very powerful have these types of blanket immunities that most human beings don't have. They control the definitions of crime. Right? Everything you do is a crime. What we do is no. That's how business works. You just don't understand it. So anyway, markets are slightly under stress. Coming back a little bit. They're coming back. We're going up. We're going up. We're going up. We're going up. So thank you all for joining me, and appreciate your time. Happy Tuesday, and I guess we'll end on this. Yeah.